The world that we live in right now is a result of operating from a state of separation. I want to break this down with you, okay? Because this is what's making the most sense to me right now. When we are born with amnesia, meaning that we forget who we are, we forget what we are, and we only operate based off of our mind, our body, and our emotions. But we are not as connected to our spirit as we are grown up to be taught or to believe. Our spirit is like our higher self, right? It's our higher mind, if you will. And our higher self is connected to oneness, and that's all of us. We're all one being, okay? We're all one consciousness, if you will, one source. And when we are born, we forget that. And so we are operating based on the separation, like the illusion of separation, okay? And the reason why we have the illusion of separation is for oneness to experience itself in duality, meaning we are here as one to experience ourself, our one self, in individual lives and individual perspectives and possibilities. That's why separation exists in the first place, but it's not the truth. It's literally an illusion. The truth is that we are all connected, but that's what all of us have forgotten, and only so many of us come to remember in our lifetime. Remembrance is literally a spiritual awakening, okay? It just means that you remember that there's more to this. You remember that I am this being and so is this other person, and we're literally the same. Instead of just viewing everyone and everything outside of you separate and different from you, you start to see things as one. You start to see things as connected, okay? And this isn't only with humans. You see that nature and animals and all of this, the stars and everything also are the same as you. So when I say that this world is a result of us living in separation, it means that everything that we live in today, it's all built on an illusion of separation, okay? It is not a result of us coming together in unity and living as oneness and remembering that we are all one, okay? Everything is built off of separation. Money, scarcity, okay, all the things that you can think of that may be issues or problems in the world is literally stemmed from the illusion or the dream of separation. This is just a side tangent, but I believe that the ones that are running this world know this, and that's why they keep us in separation so much, because as long as we're in separation, we keep this operation alive. Okay, we keep it running. But as if we were all to awaken and become one and remember that we are all one, then everything would shift. I also believe that ancient civilizations were vibrating, or they had a conscious awareness collectively where the majority, if not all, of the beings remembered that we are all one, and we operated based off of that, and so we got a lot more done. We were able to tap into a lot more information, a lot more of our abilities of what we could do, our potential, and we did it because we were operating based off of I know you are me and you and I am you, and we are one, and let's get this going. And so there was no need for any type of separation, any type of comparison, any type of division. Everything was unity. Everything was in unison. And now, the world that we live in today, for some reason, something happened where there was maybe a fall of consciousness or a reset or something to where it made us forget that we are one, to restart, and then to go on the cycle of remembering again. And maybe that's just what consciousness does. Maybe that's just what we choose to do after so many years in human time, but maybe that's just what we choose to do in a soul evolution type of way. Perhaps we throw ourselves back into separation, like I said, just to experience what that means, to experience individualism, to experience multiversal, possibilities and outcomes and experiences. Perhaps we just get bored when we're just all in unison and we all ascend together and we all come together and create beautiful things together in unity. And we're just kind of like, okay, well, maybe we're like so intelligent to the point where we can reset ourselves and forget everything in order to remember again. You know, like it's almost like we predicted that prior to the reset happening, and so it wasn't in vain and it wasn't something horrible. This is totally just coming through right now. I'm not saying this is how it actually is, but I will say that it sounds plausible to me. Definitely something that can be real, but I don't want to get too woo-woo here. Another thing that came through as well was that, you know, like people, when they start talking about like intergalactic stuff, like information and all these things, and then you kind of just like wonder, like, why is that relevant? And how is that even possible for us to have lived in places like that and stuff? And I think it's only because they are tapping into a state where we were living in unity consciousness and without any separation. And so we were able to live like that intergalactically, or, you know, like what I said with ancient civilizations and stuff like that. Like, that's what makes sense to me. So just to wrap up the reading or the video, if we can change the world for real like that, when we go through awakenings and remembrances of that we are one. Okay, and that's what's happening right now. That's literally what's happening right now. It's a lot more simple than we make it out to be. And never mind me, I literally woke up not too long ago and I was just journaling and drinking coffee and shit. So yeah, and I just wanted to make this video. But we literally can change the world so quickly. And that's exactly what's happening. And that's what I was saying. It's a lot more simple than we're making it out to be. Okay, it's literally that we've been living in illusion, separation, and now we're remembering that we're one, so we're shifting the world little by little as we go to where we're living more in unison, and life doesn't have to be so hard, and we don't have to be living, like, those of us that remember, those of us that awakened, this world seems fake as fuck. It just doesn't make sense to us. It doesn't make sense to us why there's war, why there's poverty, why there's scarcity, why there's anything. It doesn't make sense, and it's because it's an illusion. We see through the illusion. It's an illusion. It's all an illusion. We see through it because we remembered the truth, the real state of being, and that is that we are one, and that one, if we operated from the state of oneness, none of those things would exist. It's as simple as that. But in separation, that's where we cause problems, and that's where we complicate things. And that's why the world is the way it is right now. It's just, that's how it is. So I wanted to break I wanted to break that down in case some of y'all wanted to maybe no, I'm not telling you this is the truth. What I'm saying is I wanted to share my perspective, okay? In hopes, or just to inspire people, okay, to think outside the box, to think outside of separation, to think outside of illusion. Maybe this can help. I don't know. But I'm just I was called to. Okay. So yeah, I'm gonna go shower, and I love y'all.